Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto Was the Ultimate Saiyan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends and social media platform, and also guys, remember to stay tuned for the brand new episodes coming over in Anime King and Anime King 2. And if you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto had a proper introduction with Yujito, as she apologized for attacking him, as Samui had told her that Naruto had saved her life, as she was thankful, because if it wasn't for Naruto, Samui would have been dead. As Naruto told her she could thank him by sparring with him, as if you remember correctly, she was rather strong and fast as well, as she was eager to fight him as well, as she heard from Samui how strong he was, as she was always up for a good fight. Everyone knew that about her. So with that, the both of them started to throw down. They started out at a normal pace first. She soon realized that he was keeping up with her, and he was not struggling that much. As she started to increase her power, by doing so, he had to increase his as well. As the both of them clashed and fought, the battle became quite devastating as they started to destroy the area. She had to tap into the power for Biju, as a cloak came around her, as Naruto started to power up to his max, pushing his power trying to break through his current limit. As she dropped in her stance and so did he, but before they could throw down, Naruto was surrounded by blades. As he realized that they were envoys from Kumo, as the Raikage and B arrived, as Naruto met the Raikage and challenged him for a fight, the Raikage found the whole thing amusing. As Naruto made him a deal, if he were to defeat everyone, would he fight him then? As the Raikage agreed, if Naruto won the entire tournament, then he would face him in the end. As Naruto was ecstatic about that. Afterwards, she went off, arriving back to his team as Aoba. Couldn't believe what Naruto did. Guys saw it as a good fate as Raikage was willing to accept Naruto's challenge. But Aoba was a stickler for the rules. He sent one of his crews back to Konoha, getting the message to Hiruzen, who was shocked. Naruto did what? But the time quickly came as it was time for Chunin exams, as the Raikage was there. But not only him, Naruto also met the man's son. Its name was Ai, as Naruto could feel that he was powerful. As Ai was a single man team, he didn't have teammates, as he was never trained like a normal genin growing up. As he was trained to succeed his father and become the next Raikage, but he wanted to pass through the Chunin exam the traditional way and the Jonin exam as well. But, unknown to most of the others, he was actually already Jonin level, as he was quite older than them. Not by much, but he was already Jonin level of strength. But he wanted to get through the traditional way. He had his pride, and he also had a knack for fighting, which Naruto loved as well. They were given a flag of their country, as they were supposed to gather 2 other flags. Usually it was 3-man team, but because of Neri on Naruto's team, well, that was different. But still, with that they made their way into the territory. As Naruto asked Neri to tell him where I was, she gave him the location, but he ran straight off. As Lee chased after him, as Naruto saw I demolish a team by himself, I threw a stone towards Naruto when he was done, as Naruto caught it. As I smiled, as he could tell that Naruto was going to be an interesting person to fight. As Naruto arrived back to his team, they were caught off guard even though they possessed a Byakugan. The stone team that attacked them blew the entire drone to pieces, unstable in their rotation. As Neri was about to be exploded as Naruto caught her, jumping out of the way. It was then that Neji told him to look out, as Naruto threw Neri in the air. As the cosmic explosion underneath him went off, shocking everyone as Neri landed. He saved her, risking his own life. They doubt that he could survive that. But when the smoke and everything cleared, there he stood. His body was covered by his own ki protecting him. Smoke wiped it off his skin though, but he was fine. As Neri moved in and demolished all the stone ninjas on her own. Later that night, she and Naruto spoke, as they came to a common agreement to get through this as teammates and not curse at each other anymore. Well, not so much, as she watched him leave, remember, and he risked his life to save hers. Even after they'd never really gotten along. Why would he do that? And yeah, that was basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the playstick of yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get straight in it, guys. Naruto looked around. They were in a strange arena. It was all rock. It was the side of a mountain that was completely flattened. As he glanced up towards the top stairs, where he saw all the Jonin senseis, he saw a guy looking down at him with a bright smile. Aoba was also up there as well. As Naruto saw the other Jonin senseis, he glanced down towards where the other teams were. They had passed through the first phase of collecting the flags. Now they were on to the second phase. It seemed like a team expose. As all of the team were gathered, as Naruto saw as someone jump from the highest top, before crash landing right in the center. The man had white, slick hair, narrow eyes, with a small goatee. As Naruto noticed that many of the people around him looked towards the man, seemed to recognize him. "My name is Raymond," he said, as he looked towards all the hopeful Chunins, "and I will be the proctor of the second part of the exam. This will be a team, all-out brawl. Losing one of your teammates result in disqualification. If I say a team is no longer able to compete, I can end the match whenever I please, interfering whenever I please. When I tell you to stop, you must follow what I say and stop," said Raymond as he looked at all of them. "And if another team, a single member of that team says, I cannot go anymore, the entire team will be disqualified. Do you understand?" he said as he looked at them. As the combatants gave him a nod. "Good," he said. "Your names and your teams have all been calculated. Therefore, in the next 5 minutes, your team will be called and you will face the teams from the other villages. Get yourself ready," he said. With that, he jumped off. As Naruto watched the man leave. "Who is that?" he said, as he saw by the Genin's faces. Perhaps he was popular or something. "Wait, you don't know him?" As Naruto turned to see where the voice came from. "Ah, it's you," he said as he saw that it was Samui, as her and her team had passed as well. "You really don't know Raymond, the Storm of Kumo?" she asked. "Unfortunately not," said Naruto. "Perhaps my sister might know him, but I don't," he said. "Well, there is no point of trying to explain about him then, since you don't really know who he is. But he's really powerful. He has his title for a reason." "Oh, is he now?" said Naruto as he turned, looking up towards the man. As someone narrowed her eyes. "Don't tell me that you're thinking of challenging him as well." "I like fighting strong people." "Yes, you do, but he's different from the Raikage. I'm still surprised that the Raikage decided to take you up on your offer, to actually agree to fight you if you win this whole thing." As she shook her head, still surprised about that. "But Raymond won't give you the time of day. Anyone can be goated in a fight. Besides, fighting is fun. Not for everyone," she said. "Well, I like fighting." "You're a rather weird individual," she told him. Perhaps not," said Naruto, as he glanced up towards where the Raikage was as well. He was on the top level, looking straight down towards them. As Naruto saw the guy that he called Bro beside him. "You know, Even if you make it to the finals and somehow win this entire thing, you're gonna lose the Raikage, you know that, right? And how are you so sure? He's the Raikage. He's the strongest ninja in the village. And he gained that title for a reason. You might be strong, but you're not as strong as a Raikage. As Naruto simply smiled. Besides, she said, you won't get through Ai, as she pointed towards Ai, who was sitting down, his eyes closed. I've seen him fight, said Naruto. He is strong. And you think you can take him, she said. Well, there's only one way to find out. She had a small smile on her face as she shook her head. This guy was really strange, but he had the attitude that make you believe he can actually do the things that he say. As Karu scoffed, that attitude of yours is gonna get you killed, thinking you can take on every strong person that comes your way. As Naruto turned towards her, as he hasn't had much interaction with this one, but she seemed really angry. As it made him think of Neri as he glanced towards her. Neri saw him looking towards her. What, she said. The both of you have similar attitudes, said Naruto. What? No, we don't. You don't even know her. How do you know you don't have the same attitude? Neri scowled as she turned her head away, as Karu turned her head away as well. Huh, I guess you're right, Amoy said. Hey, we haven't officially met. Amoy. As Naruto took his hand. Nice to meet you. Naruto Uzumaki no Mikaze, he said, as he shook his hand. Yeah, I know about you. A lot of people know about you. You're the one that challenged Raikage, aren't you? Saying that you're gonna win this entire thing. Yep, that's right, said Naruto. As that caught many attention. Hey! As Naruto turned, as a girl rushed over to him. Fu, wait! But she did not stop as she rushed over, as her teammate called out to her. But the girl known as Fu did not stop as she rushed over. As Naruto turned towards her, she was the one that smiled and waved at him. You seem nice, she said. You wanna be my friend, she asked. As Naruto tilted his head at her attitude, as she gave him the brightest smile ever. Sure, he said. As Fu eyes sparkled before she jumped and hugged him. As he was surprised by the interaction, but he did not push her off as she pulled back. You're the first friend I met today, she said. I was hoping to make more friends at June exams. As two boys rushed up behind her. Oh, as she turned towards them. This is Kagen and Yoro, she said. Nice to meet you guys. As they looked towards Naruto with a careful eyebrow raise, like they were wary of him. But his calm attitude and his smile seemed to put their ease off. So you're here to make more friends, said Naruto. Yep. I want to make friends with everyone, she said. But not everyone is as nice as you. Well then, said Naruto. I have a couple more friends that you can make. Really? Where are they? As Naruto reached over and grabbed Lee and pulled him over. This is Rock Lee, he can be your friend as well. As Fu's eyes were sparkling to know that she could make more friends. Really? You'll be my friend? Yes, sure, Lee said. Naruto-san is a wonderful judge of character, and he's my friend as well, so if you want to be friends, we can be friends as well. Our youth shall shine brightly, said Lee. I don't know what that means, but yes, our youth will shine brightly, said Fu as she pumped her fist in the air. Along with Lee, as Naruto smiled at that. Annoying, said Neri. As Naruto smiled before he grabbed Neri by the hand. As she looked towards him at glare, but it was too late. Hey, Fu, she can be your friend as well. As Neri gave Naruto a death stare, but he simply smiled it off. Really? Fu said. As Neri backed away from the girl, big orange eyes that just stared at her. Before she could say anything, alright, the voice of Raymond came. Your time is up. It is time. I hope you're all ready, he said. For the first team match, Renji Inuzaka, Kenji Inuzaka and Tenten Higurashi will be facing off against Sen, Shira, and Yom from the Sand. As Naruto turned, as he looked around trying to find the Sand team that Tenten and her group were gonna fight, a girl with two red marks on her cheek, a boy with blue hair with a red necklace on, as he had a scar right on his lower cheek, and another girl with brownish hair. As the boy seemed to be happy as he was bouncing on the ball of his heels, as Naruto glanced towards Tenten and the others. Good luck, guys, he said, as he placed a hand on the two boys' shoulder before doing the same to Tenten. As the Inuzaka simply smirked. Don't worry, Naruto, we have this covered, they said, as Tenten gripped onto her scroll, as she had a determined look in her eye. as she gave Naruto a confident nod. The rest of you, make your way up to the podium, as all of them made their way up there, as they were joined by their Jonin senseis. As Team Konoha and Team San stood in the center of the arena. You know, you guys can stay out of this if you want, and I'll finish it quickly, said Shira. The taller one, Sen, frowned. We're a team, aren't we, she said. But the smaller one, with a red mark in her cheek, shook her head. Shira is right. He can finish all of them by himself. As Raymond jumped down in the center. Are both teams ready, he asked. They nodded as he raised his hand. Begin! As he jumped away. Tintin jumped back instantly as she unfurled her rather large scroll. As she waited, Tintin and two boys were shocked as Shira flashed behind the two Inuzukas, as Tintin stood behind them, as she did not expect that. Whoa, he's fast, said Lee, as Guy narrowed his eyes towards Shira, as he saw the markings on his body. Markings after a hard work of taijutsu it seems. The two Inuzaka boys turned, but they were brutally knocked away. Tintin jumped back as she unfurled her scroll. She twisted around her as hundreds of weapons came out, ready to pelt down on Shira. But he dodged every single one of them, surprising everyone up in the stands. His speed was so great that he was able to predict and move fast enough to evade all of the weapons that dropped, and there were a lot of weapons. He then heard something as the two Inuzaka boys and their dogs came rushing towards him, whipping through the air as they were spinning like gigs, all fangs and claws. Shira jumped at the last moment as the two boys turned up, but a massive collaboration wing style from two girls slammed into both Inuzakas along with their dogs, blowing them away. Tintin threw an explosive note as it blew away Shira. When the smoke cleared, he had his hands crossed in front of his face. As he pulled them down and moved, Tintin found a fist buried in her stomach. As Naruto watched the scene, this guy was really fast. As the two boys got back up, as both of them swallowed a pill along with their dog started to turn red and furry. As they turned their sights back on Shira, who beckoned for them to come. The moment they were close enough, he jumped back. As they twist and they tore through the ground and started to come behind him, he placed both hands on the ground before slamming his heel on the ground, rooting up a large piece of debris and kicking it towards them. They separated at the last moment and came around the massive boulder, ready to pounce down on Shira. As he was not moving, but at the last second he moved. There was no time for them to stop as they slammed into each other, hitting each other with the force that they wanted to hit Shira with. But it did not end there. The two girls released another wing attack. This one was a lot more powerful. The two Inuzakas and their dogs slammed viciously into Tintin, all of them hitting the wall, knocking them on cold. As Shira got back to his feet. Well, that's one down, he said. As Naruto was surprised. He saw that the guy did taijutsu, given his physique and the markings. But this was more than he expected. As a smile was on his face, Lee was also smiling as well. Well, they were upset that their comrades lost, but this was just getting interesting and more interesting. The medics came down there as they went off with the team. Ayuba made his way to go and check on his students and make sure they didn't have any crucial damage. Come on, said Naruto, as he was waiting for his turn. Can you calm down, said Neri. You're gonna fight. Don't be too eager about it. I'm bored, said Naruto. He did not really get to fight anyone when they were going for the flags. That was Neri and Neji. Speaking of Neji, he glanced over towards the Brute and Hyuga, who were just watching the entire thing, as he hadn't said a word since he arrived here. Well, that is his comment. Go to. Either be silent or be an asshole. And Naruto preferred the silence. Naruto watched as several other teams went down there, and yet his team was not called yet. Meanwhile, as Raikai kept a keen eye down towards his son, who was calm as ever, keeping a relaxed posture even though he also wanted to go down there and fight, the Raikage glanced towards Naruto. It seems both of them are one and the same, said Killer B, as he noticed Naruto and I. Both of them were pumped to fight, as he could see it. Yes, it seems they are, the Raikage said as he looked down. He wanted to see Naruto against his son. It would be fitting, seeing that he fought Minato, which was Naruto's father. The Raikage was really wondering if Naruto was gonna win this whole thing. From what Yujito said, he was incredibly strong. But he hasn't fought his son yet, and Yujito was not trying to kill him, nor did she excel her power to the limit. Otherwise, things would have gone completely different. But the man was still curious. After all, Minato Namikaze was a legend. He might not look like him, but perhaps it passed down into him. I was then called. He jumped off the podium and landed on his feet, cracking the ground a bit, as Naruto's smile returned, seeing that I was gonna fight. A team from the grass was called, as the three of them made their way down there. This is rather unfair, isn't it? The supposed leader of the team said as he looked towards I mean 3 against 1, you stand no chance. I chuckled a bit as he looked towards them. Well, it is unfair, he said. Yes, so why don't you just give up? Oh, you misunderstand me. It's unfair for you guys. The leader snarled, so did the other two. We're gonna make you regret saying those words. If you can, try your best, said I. With that, the match was called. Take him down, leader said, as the two men beside him started to flash through hand sign. They stop, water style, raging water wave. As they spew water from their mouths, it fused together to create a small lake as it smashed the area where I was. When the water cleared away, he was no longer there. They heard a gurgle behind them as they turned. I's fist was buried in the leader's stomach. As the man's eyes were rolled back white as he collapsed unconscious. The other two were shocked. They stepped back in fear, wondering if this was really happening. Moshe, one of them called, looking towards the leader. How is that possible? Don't take your eyes off your opponent. As he heard something whisper in his ear, bam! He was backhanded towards the wall as he slammed headfirst into it. The second one pulled a kunai and turned it towards I to impale him. I twisted his body as he grabbed the wrist and snapped it. A brutal kick threw him away as he crashed to the wall. The remaining fighters were beyond shocked to what they just saw. This guy was strong. Really strong. Even though he was on his own, he bodied all of them. The Raikage smiled proudly. That was his son after all. As I gave a bow before he left, making his way back up to where he was, he glanced over towards Naruto. As he saw the smile on Naruto's face, it made I smile as well. This kid was really eager to fight him. Well, he hoped he'd get to fight him as well. He really hoped that he wasn't a disappointment and get disqualified. Naruto watched as Raymond called, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. A smile came on Naruto's face when he heard that. There were snarls on the stone ninjas' faces, as a specific team was there. As they glanced down where Naruto was, a girl with short black hair. Her and her two teammates were watching Naruto. So that's him, huh? One of the boys said. Yeah, that's him, the girl said. As Naruto was bouncing on the ball of his heel, as he heard Fu, he snapped his head over as he saw Fu waving at him. As she had a big proud smile on her face as she jumped off into the arena. As she landed softly on the ground. As Naruto jumped off without questioning as he landed, cracking the ground a bit, same as I. Well, I guess we're gonna fight each other, said Naruto. Yep, said Fu. You're not gonna stop being my friend if I beat you, right? She asked. Because I'm really strong, she said. As Naruto chuckled at her attitude. Of course not, he said. Let's just do our best. No holding back now because we're friends. We have to give it our all. Really? Said Fu. Are you sure? I don't want to hurt you. I promise I won't get hurt. Alright then. Once this is over, can we play some games? Games? Yeah, sure. As she couldn't believe it. You're the first one to agree, she said. As she came over to him. So what do you want to play? Oh, I'm not sure. We can also have a bath together, she said. As Naruto froze. Bath? Fu, that's enough. As her two teammates came over. I told you that's not a proper something to ask a stranger. But He's my friend. That still doesn't mean that you can ask him that. As Naruto watches his teammates came down, as Guy gave him a beaming smile and a thumbs up. As Naruto shook his head, she was quite a strange person, but she was fun and super nice. Are you guys ready? As Naruto glanced towards Raymond. Yep, he said, as Fu nodded. Alright then. Begin. Naruto watches Fu spread wings from her back. Beautiful, colorful wings as she flew into the sky, surprising him and everyone there. As Naruto glanced up towards her, seeing the wings, Neji activated his Byakugan as he focused on the girl. They're real, he said. They're not some sort of genjutsu or anything like that. How are we supposed to reach her? Said Lee, as he didn't have any way of going up there. The girl was really high. She pulled the kunai out and threw it. As Naruto reached out and caught the kunai before throwing it towards one of her teammates who jumped away. The two of them flashed through Hansai. As Nira rushed forward, water style, water pistol. Nira spin rotation as she blocked the two incoming water pistol. Lee jumped over her rotation as he dived towards the two as he dropped in the middle. He kicked away the first one and the second one ducked. He tried to punch Lee in the stomach but Lee moved back as Neji appeared behind the second one. But the first one shouted, Fu, now! As they closed their eyes and jumped away. As Fu opened her mouth, as she expelled a substance all over the area. It then exploded in a bright, brilliant light. Neji and Nira grabbed their eyes, seeing that they had their Byakugan on, as it affected them badly. The two members moved forward as Lee was unable to see as well. A massive water wave slammed into the group, throwing them away. Fu landed, but her feet did not touch the ground. As she raced towards Naruto, her fist pulled back. Naruto crossed his arms. Bam! She was strong, as Naruto's feet slid just a bit. Fu was surprised. He blocked her, as she noticed his eyes were closed. It affected him, but not in the way that it should. He was still able to catch her hand like this. He swung her away before racing towards the two teammates that were going after his team. As the two boys had to leap away as a massive energy ball destroyed the area in front of them, forcing them to leap away. As Naruto landed there, his eyes were still closed. The two boys jumped back to back, their eyes closed as well. Damn it. It seems one of them is up. Fu, what happened? Didn't you take him down? No. He is strong, Fu said, as she was smiling, as her feet then touched the ground. Let's see how strong you are, she said, as she brought a single ramp seal up. Ninja art. As her wings spread chakra. Cocoon, she said, as the sparkling light had died down by this time. As Naruto was able to open his eyes as he saw the chakra spreading all around him, as it created a green dome that trapped him inside. If you can break out of that, then you're really strong, said Fu. Inside, as Naruto's body was covered by strange, sticky white ropes. As this strange cocoon was trying to restrain him, he looked down towards his hand as ki started to appear around it. As the ki then started to shift, as Naruto smiled as ki pointed out like a blade, as he sliced through all the stickiness, before tearing through the cocoon as he exit. Fu was surprised. You actually break it. By this time his team was getting back to their feet. As Naruto smiled, you're stronger than I thought. As he moved towards her, Fu brought her hand up to block, but she wasn't that lucky. As when Naruto's fist connected against it, her body was thrown. She smashed in the wall. The two boys looked over completely shocked that he was able to throw Fu like that. Fu picked herself up slowly, as she smiled. Well, I'm not done yet, she said, as her wings started to beat fast before they created a massive gust and sent it towards Naruto. Naruto held out his hand as he fired a ki blast that expelled it, before he flashed away with nothing but pure speed. The Raikage raised the eyebrow to that as he appeared behind Fu. Fu turned as both of their fists connected. A miniature shockwave ensued as Fu felt her hand in incredible pain as she jumped away. Her hand was all red and bruised, as she dropped it to her side. He was a lot stronger than her. "Hey, Naruto," she said. "Friends push each other to the limit, right? So that they can keep on growing and getting stronger." "Yeah," said Naruto. She glanced over towards the two boys that Shibuki assigned to her, as they narrowed their eyes to what she was doing. "Fu, don't," as she stuck her tongue out before a red cloak enveloped her body, as her wings doubled, and a strange tail like a spinster emerged from her back. As Naruto felt the change, the Raikage raised his eyebrow as he turned towards B. "The Hatsubi just informed me. She is the 7th bug, you see?" The Raikage looked down towards the girl. He did not know. As Fu glided straight towards Naruto, as her fist whipped past his face. Fu was surprised that he was able to dodge her even at this current speed. She twisted her leg and sent it towards his head as Naruto grabbed her leg. He then twisted her and brought her down. She placed both of her hands out, but when they touched the ground it exploded to the amount of force that Naruto dropped her with. He picked her up and threw her. Her two teammates were busy as Lee entrapped them in a taijutsu brawl. As Neri had enough, moving towards them, she took them out along with Lee. They weren't that strong after all. As Neji turned towards the fight where Naruto was, having the time of his life, his smile was infectious. "You're a lot stronger than I thought, Fu," said Naruto as he jumped back, dodging all of her attacks. "You as well," said Fu as she crashed her foot in the ground, breaking it, before launching her heel towards his head. As Naruto blocked it, the ground shattered underneath him as he gripped her ankle, before twisting her over, as he slammed up brutal, punching her stomach. Fu winced out in pain as she was blown away, as Naruto appeared behind her as his hand stopped her momentum, slamming right in her back. Fu dropped towards the ground, her wings beating as they were slowing down. She glanced towards him before she smirked, as Naruto heard a strange buzzing sound. He glanced over as he saw the red container that she had on her back open up to reveal bugs inside. "Komi really loved bugs," she said. Naruto tilted his head in confusion as he wondered who was Komi. The bugs rushed towards him. Well, they tried. Naruto held both of his hands out. With a loud scream, they were blown away like they were nothing, shocking everyone. As Naruto stood there completely unharmed, Fu picked herself back up as she didn't have that much control over the rest of the Biju core inside of her. As she rushed towards Naruto once again, as Naruto dodged her attack before slamming a brutal punch in her stomach that pushed her body in mid-air. As she went limp in his arms, as Naruto caught her, as he set her down gently, she was out cold. As he looked over to the others, "Is it done?" he said. "Are you blind?" said Neri. As Naruto glanced over to see the two others, they were knocked out as well. As Naruto picked up Fu as he saw the stretcher coming, as he placed her in it, she was really strong. "Stronger than I thought," said Naruto, as he had a smile on his face. He hoped everyone else was as strong as this. As the Raikage watched him keenly as he realized the boy was actually having fun while fighting. Well, knowing that you weren't gonna be killed, because that girl seems rather nice. Really nice. Other than having fun, what was the point? So the boy enjoyed the fight, but he was strong. The Raikage could see that. He could have ended the fight from the beginning, but he wanted to see how strong she was. He has a fault though. He tests people. That was his fault. He did not go all out at the start. You could not do that in a real ninja battle. You could get killed. As they made their way back up, the last stone team was called to face off against a team from the rain. As Naruto noticed a black-haired girl eyeing him, her entire team was, but she was giving him a look. He didn't know why. Her team demolished that rain team. They were all called back down. As the Raikage was watching everything from where he was, as Raymond stood in front of them. "All of you that passed today will be fighting in 2 weeks for the finals. No longer a team on team. You can even fight your own teammates in 2 weeks. It will be an all-out brawl until you reach the end. 3 stages, 1, 2, and 3. The final competitors that make their own 3 will end this all You have 2 weeks to get prepared and ready. Remember, you could be fighting anyone, even your own teammates. So you have 2 weeks. There will be a lot of people here to watch you. So do your best and bring everything that you got to the table, because most of your village leaders will be here to see what you can do. As he looked around the entire place at everyone. That's all, you're dismissed. As he didn't tell them who they were gonna fight. As Naruto shrugged it off, but he really hoped his first fight was. As Naruto turned, as I walked up towards him. Well, it seems you and I are thinking the same thing. And what would that be? That we want to be each other's first fight. I can see that you're very strong. After all, going as far to challenge my father, I can tell that you're something different. So, I really hope you have more to offer though. If not, I will crush you, said I. As Naruto chuckled at that. Well, I'm looking forward towards it. Just no holding back when you fight me. Wouldn't want to defeat you as quick as you defeated those other ninjas. Well then, we'll have to see about that, said I. As he gave Naruto a nod before walking off. Time skip. Hokage's office at Konoha. I'll be on my best behavior, said Mito. As Hiruzen looked at the girl. He was going to be making his way towards Kumo to watch Naruto and the others participate in the exam, as they were going to be staying there for the 2 weeks. It was a sign of trust between the villages, to show that nothing will happen to his ninjas. He heard that Oniki was going to be making his way there as well. His predicament now was Mito. She wanted to come along. Well, he was not the only person Konoha was going. A few Hyuga was going, and a few of the citizens were going, to cheer on Konoha. After all, this Chunin exams was really something. Naruto is Minato's son, and people wanted to see him participate. The place was going to be packed. But Hiruzen was a bit worried about the challenge. He knew how powerful Naruto was, but for him to be challenging a Kage, and for the right Kage to be accepting, well, he was a bit worried. He hadn't even told Mito about it yet. Alright, fine, he said. A big smile came on her face, as Naruto wanted her to be there, and she wanted to be there to cheer on her brother, so he would bring her along with him. Now will you go to school, he said. Alright, she said, as she rushed over and gave him a hug. Before, she climbed to the window. He sighed. Why the window? He hoped this doesn't become a habit, as it brought back memories of someone to his mind. Well, she's a lively one, isn't she? Hiruzen glanced towards the window. Ah, you're here, he said. It was none other than Jiraiya of the Sannin, as he came in through the window and sat down on the couch. I believe you have a lot to inform me about. Well, straight down to business, huh, Jiraiya said. Well, let's get down to business first before anything else. Well, I've not gone a solid league on him, but I've heard rumors that he's within the new village in the rice fields, known as the Sound Village. I'm not sure exactly where he is in there. There's rumors that he will participate in the next Chunin exams coming around, officially becoming a new village. I believe that he's behind this somehow. Well, it would be like him to start a new village, to have ultimate control. He always wanted to be Hokage, Hiruzen said. Exactly, Jiraiya said. And you got my message about the Teshikage, right? He will be attending the Chunin exams. Turns out that his granddaughter is participating. Ah, it makes sense now. I wonder why he would just go there for a normal team usually. He would just send a representative. It's not like they're at each other's throats, but they're not exactly allies either. But you're going, aren't you? And you're not really allies with Kumo either. Yes. But I'm going there to make sure things are calm. And also, to watch Naruto and the others. As a faraway look came in Jiraiya's eye. You've been gone for so long. As Hiruzen looked towards his student, Jiraiya was broken up when he heard about the death of Minato and Kushina. He blamed himself because he was supposed to be there that night to help. Everyone knew that when she was giving birth, the seal would weaken, but he couldn't make it. He had to receive some information, so he couldn't be there. and he blamed himself. If he was here, perhaps he could have done something. Jiraiya met Naruto a few times when he was younger. He wasn't sure if Naruto remembered him or if he did. Well, as he said anything about me, Jiraiya said, either of them. Mito knows who you are. I'm not sure where she stands on getting to know you. And what about the other one? As Jiraiya feared the answer that Hiruzen was about to say, Naruto is rather protective of his sister. He would do anything for her. Even challenge me most times. You and I know that she possessed the 9 tails. And the elders, especially Danzo, was against her visiting the Uchiha compound. I told Naruto that he couldn't go there along with her. Before the massacre happened, well, he brought her there same way. To meet up with her friend Sasuke. He said if it was for her sister's happiness, he didn't care who was in his way. Any restriction or anything, he would break them down. He might not like to show it, but he was hurt in the beginning. Hurting a lot. Me and Kakashi tried to be there for him. But it wasn't enough. Mito was still a baby back then. And he took on a role of more than just her brother. Like a father figure to her. To make sure that she would always be okay and protected no matter what. And you've been gone for so long. You were never here for him. I doubt it will be that easy to convince him to let you get anywhere near them. Mito is different. She's kind. She's accepting. She might hear you out. But things would be a lot different with Naruto. Mito asked about you once, and I overheard their conversation. The tone that he used to refer to you, well, it was dull and dry. And if you know him, you would know why it's so different. As Jiraiya leaned back, he messed up big time. He could have been here, but he was gone for so long. After a year passed, he realized that, well, it's been too long. And then he told himself he would go there next year, but he did not. And he always find things always came up. And he's been away from their life for so long now. The both of them. Well, Naruto's a ninja already, but she will become one soon enough. And he wasn't there for any of it. Or do I do, Sensei? Try. Put in some more effort. You're here now. Try. Why don't you accompany me as one of my guards to the exam? So you can talk to Mito along the way. It would be best if you befriend her before you go after Naruto. If you choose him first, I don't think you will get through. So start with Mito first. That is the best way. As Jiraiya nodded at that, he will do that. Time skip. As Naruto was sitting down in Yujito's training ground, she said that she didn't have a problem with him using it, as he sat there unmoving. He had met her back with Fu, as he went to check on her and Tenten in the hospital, and the 2 boys. The Inazaka boys were fine. Their pride was just a bit down, that they lost so easily, Tenten included. She promised that she wouldn't lose next time though. Fu was just hoping that he would stay her friend, as he promised that he would. She was at Taki. From what Naruto knew, Taki and Konoha were allies, so perhaps he could visit her and introduce her to Mito. She was nice enough after all. At the moment though, Naruto was training his mind, as he had a weakness. Not having chakra meant that he couldn't do certain things. Ki was different, and that didn't do certain things. For one thing, there was illusions. Optical illusions. A normal genjutsu could not work on him because you had to infuse your chakra in his system to control his chakra, but he doesn't have chakra. And no one can use your chakra to control his ki. But there are other forms of genjutsu. That was mind genjutsu. As Mito had read up about it, the Sharingan had optical illusions that could mess directly with the mind, and that was one of his greatest weaknesses. But that was not the only case. You had other ways of the genjutsu. As Naruto had saw it from Kurenai UI, one of the Jonin senseis that Kakashi hung out with. She was able to create genjutsus on the certain area, and Naruto could not disrupt the chakra flow around the certain area. He had to go after her to break it. As he had saw her work, she had a small class as she was teaching the academy, as she believed that most students should know genjutsu as well, a part of the main original field of ninjutsu and taijutsu, as that was Naruto's biggest weakness. So he had to train his mind. In case someone tried to directly mess with his brain, he had to keep his brain strong. As Naruto was able to focus so intensely, using his ki, he was able to divert some of the energy, as he could literally train his mind to strengthen himself. As he gripped his fists, slowly opening his eyes, his weights no longer bothered him one bit. After he fought Guy after the battle, he realized that he got stronger. Every fight that he went into, he got a bit stronger. When he had fought the brothers, the Crusher brothers, and he was defeated, well, he still won, but he got hurt. His power seemed to just skyrocket. It seems like when he was beaten badly, his power increased a lot. But when he go into a fight, he was able to adapt, and his power also grew. He hasn't yet tested out any of his techniques that he had learned so far, well, except for one, his ki blade. He was able to manifestate the ki and change the shape into a blade. That is what he used to cut right through Fu, Cocoon. But there were others. The one that he learned from Master Roshi. Master Roshi was so surprised when he learned it. It took the man years, and Naruto learned it within minutes. Well, he was different, it seems. But he also created a few abilities by himself that he was dying to test out. A one-on-one battle should do the thing. But he had to remember not to go overboard and accidentally kill people, because he realized that he could do that if he was not focusing too much. And there was no reason for senseless killing after all. This was an exam to fight and show that you're the strongest. And besides, he was gonna win same way to show the Raikage that he was up for the fight. He was dying to fight with the Kage. He wasn't sure if he was gonna win though. The man was a Raikage for a reason. But he was gonna do his best. He was gonna pull out every ounce of strength that he had. And he wasn't going to be put down that easily. He would show the man what he was capable of. He hasn't truly had a fight where he had to pull out everything. Guy wasn't trying to really kill him when they were fighting, but Guy did punch hard. But still, Guy was holding back. And when Naruto was pushing to his max, Hiruzen had to stop the fight. So Naruto wondered how strong he was now, if he was to release everything. He jumped to his feet, a big smile on his face, before he snapped his head over towards the left, as someone moved as they went off. He was being watched. As he stood there, he could chase after them, but he just calmly made his way. There was a lot of people here. Some of them didn't like him because he said he would beat them all. Meanwhile that was going on, I was currently climbing a mountain with his bare hands, no chakra. There were 3 ropes around his waist, and down below him was 3 massive boulders. As he was pulling them up, he was sweating badly. He gritted his teeth as he dug his hand into the stone, pricking his fingers, but yet he fight through the pain. Once he reached the top, he collapsed on his back as he was breathing hard. Someone flashed up there. As he looked up, "Father," he said. "You're going harder than usual," the Raikage said, looking down toward the sun. As I pulled himself up in a sitting position. "That Naruto kid, he's strong." "Yes, I've seen that," the Raikage said. As I shook his head, "He's different. He's not being cocky or anything, going out of his way to challenge you. No one has ever done that before. He's trying to prove himself. We haven't seen what he can fully do yet. He was able to keep up with Yujito, and we both know what she's capable of, even though she didn't go all out. I've seen from his fighting, he's one strong person, and I need to make sure I can take him down. After all, if you want to be the best, you're gonna have to beat the best as well." As he looked up toward his father, who raised an eyebrow, Once this is over, I want to fight with you as well. A real fight. To show how far I've come. The right guy gave us a smirk. Well then, you have the entire exam to show me what you're capable of. I will be keeping a keen eye on your matches. Make sure that you're ready. After all, you've seen for yourself. They might be younger, but they can still be stronger. So make sure you're ready. As I clench his fists. Oh, I will be, he said. Later that night, as Naruto was sitting on top of the hotel that they were staying in, as he found himself unable to sleep. Perhaps it was because he was too excited. As he glanced up at the moon, the big, giant moon in front of him, it was quite a sight. He reached behind him as he stretched his butt. As he felt a weird, tingling sensation, it felt like his butt was moving. As he looked behind him, but there was nothing behind him. Strange. It felt like he was missing something, but he didn't know exactly what it was. But looking at the moon, he felt strange. He shook his head as he got to his feet. He has to try and get some sleep to be ready for when time come. As Aoba said that Hiruzen was going to be here, he sent a message back to tell the old man to bring Mito as well, as he wanted to see his sister. She must be dying to see him take part in the exam as well, as he couldn't wait to see her. As I brought a smile to his face before he jumped off the roof, making his way back towards his room. As he went in, as someone was watching him the entire time, as the person moved off. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification as they posted. But I'm over now, see you guys soon. Remember to stay tuned for the other what ifs coming your way over Anime King 2 and Anime King. And yeah, peace.